Ryan here with Prudential Pest Solutions. And I want to show you what the inside of Carpenter Bee damage looks like, because oftentimes all we'll see as a homeowner is we'll just see the little holes coming off where the bees are coming in and out of, little half-inch holes. And why maybe using a can of Raid or a spray isn't going to be effective, because if we look on the inside of this board here, what we can see is that from this hole here, let me hold it this way, but from this hole here, you can see all these intricate channels that they've made here. And you can see how far down this goes. I mean, this is, it could be a foot on either direction. These are the little brood cells. So what they're actually doing when they're in the wood is they're going in and they're boring 90 degrees. So you can see them going in and going 90 degrees from where they started on the outside. So what we do is we use an insecticidal dust. And what you can tell is then that dust goes in here. When we apply it into the hole, it'll fill this chamber up. And why that's important is because it does three things for us. One, if they're in here, it kills them. Two, if they're flying around and when they come back into the wood, they come across that dust and it kills them. But three, and most importantly, is that what they're doing is they're laying their little eggs in here. When they hatch, as long as that dust stays dry, and it will inside a wood, it'll stay active. When those eggs hatch, that larva hatches, it comes across that dust and it dies. So that's the third method, or the third benefit of it, is that it's going to kill off and make less bees for next year, which is important because it should be getting better every year. Now, the life cycle of a carpenter bee is a little bit different than other bees and wasp species in the sense that their life cycle is basically spring to spring or summer to summer. So when the summertime, May, June, July, we see a ton of them out there. What they're doing is they're mating, they're going back in here and they're laying eggs, and then the adults die. Later in the summer, when we see a reemergence of the carpenter bees, it's those new ones that have just hatched. They come out, they swarm again, they're feeding, they're getting ready for wintertime, and then they hibernate. And we can even see in these little chambers here that this is where they're going to lay eggs, but they'll also go back to back to back to back to back in the hole there. And then springtime, they'll reemerge. So the dust technique is way better than a spray. It's the most effective way to deal with these. Now, how can you actually protect your wood so that they'll make it less desirable for them? Well, 90% of the time, and that's a made-up stat, but 90% of the time, they will not chew into treated, stained, or painted wood. Now, I know we can all think of examples where that's the case, but a lot of times, they're crafty too. They'll find the one little spot of the wood that's not treated, it's not painted, and they'll go in after that. So like I said, the most effective way to treat for them is to use a dust, and we can see why that is because of this intricate and long channels that they make here. A spray is just not going to cut it, and it's not going to last long enough to kill off the next generation, which is really how we get long-term control. Once the bees are treated, we can use a plug. So some people use a cork. I use a little like a little rubber gasket that we use when we drill for termites into concrete. And then you can put some wood putty right over top of that. But more importantly is you want to treat this untreated area on the side here to make it less desirable in the future. So if you have a carpenter bee issue, give Prudential Pest Solutions a call. We are wood destroying insect experts, and we'll protect your home and property from these invasive pests.